Ancient Stoic philosophers firmly believed that anger was an extremely harmful emotion, and this perception was completely correct. They argued that releasing anger uncontrollably might initially provide a sense of gratification, but more often than not, we end up acting impulsively and later regretting the consequences of our actions. We live in a world filled with challenging situations and people who test our ability to remain serene. It is therefore essential to prepare and practice in order to develop the ability to manage ourselves even in the most challenging times. When it comes to anger, few emotions cause us to make as many mistakes as this one. Anger has the power to cloud our judgment and cause us to act recklessly. In some cases, even people who are not directly related to the reason for our anger can be harmed by our reactions. This analogy of anger to fire is well illustrated by the quotation from Seneca, who compared it to acid, which does more harm to the vessel in which it is stored than to the very substance into which it is poured. It is natural for you to wonder how to control anger, and what is the relevance of Stoicism in this context. Don't worry, in this video I'm going to explain why Stoicism is a philosophy especially apt to help us deal with our emotions, including anger. In addition, I'll provide 4 Stoic tools that you can apply in your daily life to manage your anger more effectively. Before we discuss specific strategies for dealing with anger, it is critical to understand how Stoicism can benefit us in this setting. As many of my followers already know, Stoicism is an ancient philosophy that, at its core, teaches us to focus on what is within our control and to let go of what is beyond that reach. This implies recognizing that we can influence our own thoughts and emotions, and therefore we must invest time and effort in managing them properly. It is important to highlight that Stoicism is not about repressing our emotions or denying their existence. Rather, it involves recognizing our emotions and choosing how to respond to them. Stoic philosophy also encourages us to understand the world and act rationally. However, when we are angry or enraged, we often act at odds with that premise. We become irrational, which leads us to disproportionate, unfair and harmful reactions both to others and to ourselves. Through the diligent practice of Stoicism, we can gradually replace our impulsive and irrational reactions with more thoughtful and calm responses. This allows us to approach problems rationally and find solutions to conflicts as effectively as possible. In short, Stoicism gives us tools to deal with anger and other emotions that are difficult to control. This helps us to lead a more serene, fair, and less tumultuous life. Now, how can we apply these ideas in our routine to gradually control our anger? I will introduce 4 tools. 1. Recognition of triggers. The first step in dealing with anger is to know yourself and identify the situations that trigger this emotion in you. This requires self-awareness and reflection. Take note of times when you feel most irritable or angry and try to identify patterns. These triggers can be specific situations, certain words, other people's actions, or even past memories. The more aware you are of your triggers, the better equipped you will be to deal with them. 2. Application of the dichotomy of control. The dichotomy of control is a central concept in Stoicism. This tool involves distinguishing between what is under our direct control and what is not. Recognize that you cannot control the actions and behavior of others, nor all external circumstances. However, you can control how you react to these situations. When you feel anger coming on, ask yourself if the situation is within your control. If not, focus on accepting reality and choosing how you are going to respond in a rational and balanced way. 3. Change of perspective. Perspective shifting involves seeing situations from different angles and considering other interpretations. When you feel angry, try to put yourself in the other person's shoes. Ask yourself if there might be a reason for her behavior that you're not seeing. It helps to avoid making snap judgments and to understand that everyone has their own perspectives and reasons. Also, consider how the situation might look in the bigger picture. Sometimes what annoys us at the moment may not be as relevant in a broader context. 4. Empathy and compassion development. Cultivating empathy involves putting yourself in the shoes of others and trying to understand their emotions, thoughts, and motives. As you do this, you may notice that their actions are not necessarily personal or directed at you. Compassion, both for yourself and others, is crucial. Recognize that we all make mistakes and face challenges. When you feel compassion for yourself, it's easier to forgive yourself for impulsive reactions. Likewise, as you feel compassion for others, you may realize that anger is not a constructive response, and that seeking a peaceful resolution is more beneficial. Each of these tools is rooted in Stoicism and is designed to help you manage anger more effectively. Recognizing triggers, applying the dichotomy of control, shifting perspective, and developing empathy and compassion are not instant processes. They require constant practice and self-discipline. By incorporating these approaches into your daily life, you will be building a more resilient and balanced mindset, able to deal with anger and other emotions in healthier and more constructive ways.